Alright, so in this video I'm kind of describing, well, first off, I'll talk about what I did. So I got a free table off of Craigslist, just to use as a coffee table. It doesn't look too good, but I decided I needed a table and Craigslist is the way to go for that. So this picture here, you can see that from the bottom right there, some of the tiles either came off or they decided not to finish the project, I'm not sure. And then from the bottom left, you can see it's a little bit chipped. This is what I got. And what I wanted to do was just kind of repurpose that. So, and here's another picture of just me taking off these tiles. This took hours. These tiles are very sticky. And basically what I was doing was just tearing off all the tiles and making it basically from scratch, the tabletop. So here's the video. I started this video a little bit late. I didn't know I was going to make a video, but then I decided to after I took off all the tiles. So here we go. Alright, so I have this table that I got for free off of Craigslist from this ratty old house. But the person homemade the table in wood shop, I think. And so far I've just taken off the tiles that they used to place over the top that looked like wood. I thought it was actual wood. It was pretty legit. But I scraped off all those tiles and took like 2 hours to do that. And I'm currently now on my lunch break at work painting the side. But I'm trying to repurpose the table. And I stole all these tiles from, not that they're samples, so I didn't steal them. But I took all these samples from Home Depot and Lowe's that I'm going to kind of make a mosaic pattern on the table and see how that turns out. But I'm going to paint the sides now, and painting the sides black. I don't know why. The sides were kind of spotty looking. So I'm painting the sides black, and I'll come back with more updates when I start the process. Oh, and I didn't say, what I did here was, so this piece of wood was actually completely coming off, so I Gorilla Glued it back in, and it was kind of warped, this one last piece of wood here. So some of the ceramic tiles that I borrowed from Home Depot and Lowe's, I put over the top of this, so it created a more level surface there, because that looked terrible before. But hopefully it won't now with the new ones on top. Okay, so I just finished painting. I'm all dressed up because I told you I was on my break at work. But what I am doing now is, this is very, very wobbly. The table's very wobbly. So I am taking, and I don't know if you can see that, probably not. But the for some reason the screws that they used were I don't know what they're called, hex screws. But luckily I have a specialty screwdriver, and I'm able to screw those in and tighten them, because it is terrible doing the edges like that. The reason I did black was I'm making this into a game table, I think. I bought both white and black. I bought them, I didn't buy them. I took samples of both white and black marble looking tile, because I'm trying to make it into a checkerboard. And then mosaic these around it. And I think the black on the edges will give it a cool look. But this is where I currently am, just waiting for the paint to dry and waiting for these tiles to bond before I move on with the next step. The next thing I'm doing is math, lots of math. So I measured out, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know if I said this already, make a checkerboard pattern in the middle of the table. I'm making it kind of a game table. So what I'm going to do is measure this out, which ended up being, I can make it a square of 1.75 by 1.75 for squares. And I am measuring out in the middle of the table and marking where those squares are going to go, and that's tedious, but it's got to be done. So that's what's next. Alright, so I finished doing the math. And all I did was center out the where the checker slash chessboard was going to be. And I've started using my paper cutter and started cutting out the little squares that are going to go where they should. But that's what I'm going to be doing for the next while. I will update when I have many done. So I just want to show what I'm doing for all the squares. So I know that each square is 1.75 by 1.75 inches. So I'm just measuring and cutting out from the tile pieces. I'm doing blacks and whites for the checkerboard in the middle. So just kind of wanted to start off by showing how these are looking so far. So this is kind of the start of it. As you can see, tiles are hard to cut with a paper cutter. It's kind of chipping on the corners sometimes. So I'm having to not only draw on the back, but draw on the front, because when I chop it from the front, it doesn't seem to chip them away as much. So, but this is the start of it. It's looking good. I think it'll look good. We'll see. Well, I'm on about my fourth tile. I've already been cut. So this is going to be a long process of cutting these. Actually, I'm not even on my four things. I'm currently just starting to do all these and work all that out and start the checkerboard pattern. But yep, already cut and sliced pretty badly. These are sharp. These are really sharp. So watch yourself. We'll come back with updates once I have most of these cut out, but this is going to be long. Oh, and you see my dress change a lot because I am always working. I am on my lunch break again. This is what I've been taking my lunch breaks to do. But yeah. All right, so my checkerboard is done for the most part. I mean, there are a couple ones that I have to redo, which I still borrowed some more from Home Depot. So, and I was gonna do a mosaic pattern with the wood pieces that I still borrowed around the outside, but after doing a couple, I realized that's gonna be very difficult. I don't know why I didn't think that, and it's not the best look. So I was going to go for a $0 option and use only these pieces that I have there, but instead I'm deciding to just do laminate, which honestly looks a lot better than it did before. I don't know, the person that did it before just didn't do a great job on it, so I'm gonna just use laminate and do that on the outside. And after I have these all done, I'm gonna come back and show the finished product on that, and I will show you as I'm working on the laminate pieces. Or is it called laminate? Stick-on tiles. I don't know. Alright, so I have the easy parts done on the sides. All I need to do now is mow, clean. My house is a mess and full of tiles. But anyway, all I have to do is cut around the checkerboard, which I'm going to do, and I have to place a couple more of these underneath because it's not quite flush with the wood pieces here, fake wood pieces here, but two of them would be. So I'm going to place a couple pieces underneath and make it a little bit more flush with the wood pieces here. And I think that's my only update for right now. But I will be sure to update when I have a little bit more done on the wood pieces, fake wood pieces here. Yes, clothing change again because I work a lot. That's all. So in the past couple hours, I've learned that this is taking a lot of troubleshooting. So what I did was basically just pan out where the tiles would go, which I did, and glued these down onto the mat table. What I've realized is this looks stupid to do it like this, so I'm just going to just cut the tile apart here and just go about it like I normally would, like you normally would with wood, and cut that strip off. And the other thing is, the thing that wasted a lot of time was glue. Wood glue makes these kind of warp like this way, and that wasted a lot of time. So I redid them all with just regular super glue, and that worked much better, and it was much quicker too, and much less mess actually too. So that's good. And I'm going to come back after the outside laminate is done. It's been like 3 hours, at least 3 hours. This is my progress. So, I'm pretty much done with the frame. These pieces took forever to cut exactly on the sides. Forever. And I kept screwing up. And then I had to go back to Home Depot and buy some more. But before I work on the middle here, which I still have, I have my tiles ready to go. Some of them need recut, which I did borrow more the last time I went to Home Depot, so that I can cut a couple more perfect tiles, and a couple of them have chipped, but first some cleanup. Also, I realized that I was going to make this a $0 project. That's why I was borrowing all of Home Depot's tiles, and then I ended up not doing that and buying these tiles from Home Depot. So it was supposed to be a $0 project, but that never happened, so it wasn't a $0 project. It was more like those tiles weren't too expensive. It was an $8 project, but I'm not done yet. Soon. So it's a new day, and I just came back from Joann Fabrics, and this was supposed to be a $0 project, but it is definitely now not a $0 project. But I've started actually gluing the tiles on. It's looking good so far. I think it'll look really good. It's chipped, but that's okay. It's not going to be perfect, but I will start to put on the tiles and glue them on and update you soon. Alright, so I'm getting to the very end, and it's going to become a lot harder because now I not only have to match up here when it gets up here, but also on every single side. So I don't know if I showed how I did this, but I want to do so. So basically, the thickness of this, I had to put those original pieces, those 16 squares that you see here, down on the original table, and the thickness of this plus this is pretty closely equal to the thickness of this. So basically, this sits pretty flush together. So what I've been having to do is match up exactly so that it fits in to the pieces. And I'm going to have to do that for the rest of this, and this last one here in the corner will be difficult to find an exact fit, but we'll give it a shot. But that's about it. I guess I'm going to get started on the wood pieces that I just bought for the chess table, and that's it. So I've made my first pawn. I think it's cute. I mean, it's That's what I got at the craft store, so let's go with that. That's gonna be my first pun. Okay, 2 trips later from Joanne Fabrics, and here I am. Finally. It's about a couple hours later. I've been working on these pieces for a little bit, but this is what I have. Did what I could. Those are the kings. There's the queens with the little crown. I didn't know what to do for the knights, but I made it like a little nose. Yeah. Okay, so I just have to paint them, then I'm pretty much done. Done with the project. And I'm excited to be. I've been working on this for, what, like 10 hours now? At least. It's been a while. So I'm almost done. Just got finished painting, almost painting the black. I just didn't do the bottom yet. The white are all done and all set up already. Black are not yet. So it's almost done. I'll take a final photo and video after the bottoms are complete. It's just this part. And that will be it. Then it's over. My project is complete. So here's the finished product. So I just got finished painting them. You can tell the white is a little bit more choppy just because it needed so many layers of paint. Black looks good though. Black just needed 1 layer. I just used basic acrylic paint. I don't know which one to use. Wood-based paint would probably have been better, but that's okay. So altogether, this took about 12 hours or so to complete, but it was well worth it. I think it looks much better than that old table from Craigslist, and this, again, was definitely not a $0 job, but I think it was worth it. So I went from this to this in about 12 hours or so, and cost approximately about $8 for the tiles that I stuck on, and for the wood pieces approximately $30 it cost. Joanne Fabrics is expensive, and it probably would have been cheaper just to buy my own chess set and just use those, but I didn't. I wanted to make my own. So that's the finished product. I think it looks okay. This has been repurposing a table. I might do this again. Oh, and peace, love, and espresso.